Archibald William Roach AM was an Aboriginal Australian musician. He was a singer, songwriter, guitarist, and a campaigner for the rights of Indigenous Australians. Archie was born on the 8th of January 1956 in Mooroopna, Victoria. Mooroopna is named after an Aboriginal word referring to a bend in the Goulburn River, near Shepparton in central Victoria. Roach is of Gunditjmara and Bundjalung heritage. In 1956, Roach's family, along with the rest of the area's Indigenous population, were rehoused on Rumbalara mission. Roach and his family subsequently moved to Framlingham, where his mother had been born. At the age of 2, Roach and his sisters, along with the other Indigenous Australian children of the stolen generations, were forcibly removed from their family by Australian government agencies and placed in an orphanage. After 2 unpleasant placements in foster care, Roach was eventually fostered by Alex and Dulcie Cox, a family of Scottish immigrants in Melbourne. Their eldest daughter Mary Cox would sing church hymns and taught Roach the basics of guitar and keyboards. Roach's love of music was further fueled by Alex's collection of Scottish music. "He was a big influence on me, a good influence. I'll love him to the day I die." At 15, Roach was contacted by his natural sister, who told him their mother had just died. He spent the next 14 years on the streets, battling alcoholism. Roach met his future wife, Ruby Hunter, at a Salvation Army drop-in centre known as the People's Palace in Adelaide when she was 16. Roach's career spans 3 decades, during which he has toured extensively, and headlined and opened shows for luminaries such as Joan Armatrading, Bob Dylan, Billy Bragg, Tracy Chapman, Suzanne Vega, and Patti Smith. In the late 1980s, Roach and Hunter formed a band, the Altogether's, with several other Indigenous Australians and moved to Melbourne. At the urging of Henry Uncle Banjo Clark, Roach wrote his first song, "Took the Children Away," which he performed on a community radio station in Melbourne and on an Indigenous current affairs program in 1988. Australian musician Paul Kelly invited Roach to open his concert early in 1989, where he performed "Took the Children Away," a song telling the story of the stolen generations and his own experience of being forcibly removed from his family. His performance was met with stunned silence, followed by shattering applause. In 1990, with the encouragement of Kelly, Roach recorded his debut solo album, Charcoal Lane, which was released in May 1990. The album was certified gold and awarded 2 ARIA awards at the 1991 ceremony. The album included "Took the Children Away," which became one of the most important songs in Australia's contemporary history. Charcoal Lane featured in the top 50 albums for 1992 by Rolling Stone magazine. In May 1993, Roach released his second studio album, Jamu Dreaming. The album was recorded with musical assistance from David Bridie, Tadas, Paul Kelly, Vika, and Linda Bull, Ruby Hunter, Dave Arden, and Joe Geyer. The album peaked at number 55 on the ARIA charts. In 1995, Roach toured extensively throughout the US, Canada, the UK and Europe. He returned to Australia to record the title track for Atsic's native title CD, Our Home, Our Land, with Tadas, Kev Carmody, Bart Willoughby, Shane Howard, and Bunna Laurie. In 1996, Roach performed as part of a presentation to the Human Rights Commission's inquiry into the stolen generations, before embarking on a national tour as a guest of Tracy Chapman. In October 1997, Roach released his third studio album, Looking for Butter Boy, which was recorded on his traditional land at Port Fairy in southwestern Victoria. The album's lead single, Hold On Tight, won the ARIA Award for Best Indigenous Release in 1997, and the album won the same award at the 1998 award ceremony. In July 2002, Roach released his 4th studio album, Sensual Being, which peaked at number 59 on the ARIA charts. In 2002, he worked on the Rolf de Heer film The Tracker. In 2004, Roach and Hunter collaborated with the Australian Art Orchestra and Paul Grabowski to create a concert titled Ruby's Story. Ruby tells the story of Ruby Hunter through music and the spoken word, from her birth near a billabong on the banks of the Murray River, through the stolen generation, search for identity and the discovery of hope through love. In October 2012, Roach released Into the Bloodstream, an album he described as being built on pain following the death of his wife in February 2010. In 2013 he won a Deadly Award for Album of the Year for this album, as well as a lifetime contribution to healing the stolen generations. In November 2019, Roach released a memoir and companion album titled, Tell Me Why. The album's lead single Open Up Your Eyes is the first song Roach ever wrote, dating back to the late 1970s, but it has never been recorded until now. Tell Me Why became Roach's first top 10 album on the ARIA charts. His book was shortlisted for the 2020 Victorian Premier's Prize for Nonfiction and won the 2020 Indie Book Nonfiction Award. It also won the Audiobook of the Year at the 2021 Australian Book Industry Awards. Roach is a supporter of Justice Action, a criminal justice reform organisation based in Sydney, Australia. Roach's wife and musical partner, Ruby Hunter, died on the 17th of February 2010 aged 54. On the 14th of October 2010, Roach suffered a stroke while working in the Kimberley region. After recuperating, he returned to live performance in April 2011. He has also survived lung cancer, due to early diagnosis in 2011 and major surgery. Roach died on the 30th of July 2022 at Warrnambool.